Hey, listen, if you're a coach or an online business owner and you've ever tried to automate a webinar so that you can sell more and have people buying it 24 hours a day, but you've struggled and haven't figured it out, I got to tell you, you're not alone. The same freaking thing happened to me. I tried to automate my webinars for freaking 10 years. I hired all the top coaches in the world. And I finally cracked the nut, and it was nothing to do with what the coaches taught me. I figured out 3 simple things that made all the difference in the world. And if you're interested in ever automating a webinar and getting your coaching business really scaling, then pay attention. Hey, I'm Ken. I used to be a homicide detective. I was a cop for over 15 years, and I got sick of it. When I found out I was going to become a dad, I needed to make a change. In the last 15 years, I've started 4 different businesses in 4 different industries, and they've made a lot of money. This channel is dedicated to showing people exactly how to build an 8-figure coaching business. Every single part of it. I love teaching people how to write books, how to get your books traditionally published, how to turn those books into 7-figure coaching businesses, and you're going to find all that information right here. All right. I'm glad you guys are back with me. I want to just take a couple minutes with you right now and just share 3 things with you that if you're thinking about automating a webinar, you definitely need to pay attention to this video. So let me first of all explain what I mean by automating a webinar. If you're serious about building a 7-figure coaching business, if you want to build like a major company that's making millions of dollars a year, you need to have some type of automated offer in the front end of your business. Listen, I do a live workshop. This is a live workshop. It's like whiteboard. It's nothing to do with slides or fancy presentations. If you want to check out the end-to-end system, this is going to be a really short video, but if you want to check out the end-to-end system, just go to the link in the notes and come to this workshop and I'll go through all the details. But here's the short form of it. Here's exactly what you have to do. You have to build like a course, an online course that is very specific. It's a course that calls out a problem that somebody has in their mind. They know they have the problem. And it offers a solution really, really quickly. You build the course, and then the first thing you have to do is actually start doing a live webinar every week and get all the metrics working so that you can actually measure what it costs you to get somebody to come to the webinar, what it costs you to get somebody to show up for the webinar, to stay through the webinar and actually buy. And you can't automate until you get all these metrics working for you. In the workshop, I'll explain to you that you have to be able to get people, if you really want to automate, you have to be able to get people to sign up to come to your workshop for less than $7. And when people click on your ad, you have to run ads for this too. When people click on your ad and come to your landing page and sign up, if automation is going to work, then you have to be getting at least 30 to 40% of people that click on the ad and sign up. So, opt-ins, meaning people sign up for less than $7, 30 to 40% of people have to sign up for your webinar. This is when you're doing it live. Now you're going to get all the gurus that'll say, oh man, the average rate now is 20%. If you get more than 20%, you're doing good. Yeah, you're doing good and you can do it live. But if you want to automate, all your stats are cut by 70% in automation. So you need to get up to 40%. That means in the first phase, you got to really tweak what you're doing, the automation that you're using, the ads, the relationship of the ads versus the landing page. That's called congruency. I teach all of this in the workshop, by the way. Once they sign up, then you've got to send them emails and text messages to get them to show up to watch the video. Then once they show up and watch the video, oh, by the way, you need to get at least 25% of people, 25 to 30% of people to show up to watch the video. And then once they get onto your webinar, your presentation has to do 3 main things. You have to establish credibility with the person that's watching your presentation and break their current beliefs. The second thing you need to do is you need to introduce them to your framework, to your new vehicle, as Russell Brunson calls it. And it was Russell who originally taught me all this stuff, to your new vehicle. And you got to prove to them that that new vehicle is going to be easier than everything they've ever tried before. And then the third thing, if you do those 2 things well, then you can present your offer. Those are the 3 things you have to do. Well, if you do a great job of introducing yourself, breaking the beliefs, and introducing your new vehicle, then you should keep 90% of the people there until you start phase 3, which is your pitch. And if you do all this right, and your pitch is compelling, and you have the right things in your stack, in your offer that break their beliefs, not break their beliefs, that handle their objections, then 10% of people are going to buy. But if you really want to automate, you need to get to 20% of people that are going to buy. In my workshop that I'm doing, I'm going to show you, I'm going to draw it out on the whiteboard and show you those numbers, how it works, how to actually get to those levels, and how to literally basically reverse engineer everything. So you can start out by focusing on doing it live every week just to get those numbers up. And then once you get to opt-ins under $5, sign-ups over 40%, 40% or higher of people showing up, and 90% of people staying until the pitch, and 20% of people buying, then you can start trying to automate. To automate, you need to use a very, very specific platform that replicates the live experience. And I've only ever found one freaking platform in the world that does it. And it's not Webinar Jam or Stealth Webinar or any of those. People know when they're on Stealth Webinar that it's live or that it's recorded. They know that on Webinar Jam. But there's one platform that replicates freaking everything. It even sends you a direct message. You can send it to a VA when somebody types in the chat so you can respond. It's freaking unbelievable. But when you get to that, if you have everything dialed in perfectly, then you should expect about 20% of your stats. So if you get to 20% closing, then you'll get to 5 or 6% closing. If you get to only 10% of people buying when you do it live, you're not going to sell. So there's 3 things. So that's what I've learned from everybody else, and it works for me. But there's 3 more things that they never freaking said. Until I figured this part out, how important this was, nothing else mattered. And friends, I'm going through this quick because I want you to hear it. But really what I want you to do is click on that link in the notes, wherever it is, and come to the live workshop, because I'm going to draw this all out, take my time to do it, spend an hour with you, make sure you truly understand this. But the most important part of automation, and this was what really cracked the nut for me and finally got it working. Number 1, you have to have a fast outcome. Money loves speed. So what I mean by that, in the workshop, I'm going to help you to truly understand how to get into the head of your ideal prospect, the people that you want buying your evergreen offer, and literally figure out what it is they're saying in their minds when they're going to bed at night, what they're all freaked out about. And that's what you build your course around, that specifically. And then once you figure that out, you've got to make sure that everything, your pitch, all of your front end, your headline, your website, it's all based on the outcome that they want in their minds. Now you have to add a time element to it, because money likes speed. These people that are going to buy your evergreen offer, in most cases, they're not going to know you because you're not a Russell Brunson or a Tony Robbins or one of the biggest gurus in the world. This was what I realized, is that I had to make sure that in order to completely automate, that whatever I was offering to help somebody with, there was a time element. So if you're a weight loss coach, it's how to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. That is the perfect pitch for an automated product for a weight loss coach. Why? Speed. People want to know they can get something fast. That's going to get their attention. Then they'll watch your webinar. The second thing is price. You can't automate any freaking price, especially if you're new. If you're not like a Tony Robbins or a Dean Graziosi, if you want to automate this, you've got to pick a price that people won't think twice about spending because they don't know you. And even if you have a webinar that's full of testimonials, it won't work. The biggest challenge, whenever I've talked to somebody that's trying to do this, you know what they all do? This is the biggest mistake freaking coaches make. When it comes to pricing their online course, they're like, wow, this information in this online course is so freaking amazing. It's going to change people's lives. It's going to change the freaking world. This information is worth at least $2,000 because they're going to lose 30 pounds. They're going to, make an extra $100,000 in their business. So it's easy to justify that. When you're thinking about pricing, I want you to think about market size. I want you to think about how many people would buy this or could buy this. And what you're going to realize is that there's millions of people out there that need your help. And you're better off to get it automated, to start with a price that people won't have an objection to. Whenever I've helped hundreds of people to automate products now and to keep this all working properly. And I tell them, look, the smartest thing in the world to do is to start off with a price point that's a couple $100. $297 I like. I think that's like the perfect price to start. And get it automated there and watch it coming in, and then create a system that once they've paid $297, you give them some type of onboarding call with a salesperson, and they can sell them into your higher tier programs. So you use the online course and the automation of it as a loss leader. As long as it covers the ad cost and makes you a bit of money, boom, that's how I scaled my business. I put a VA in place that onboards every person who buys my online course. And then once they buy the online course, they get to talk to one of my closers, and we go on from there. Last thing I want to tell you about, the third thing is speed of information. When you're doing your presentation, if you really want to keep people's attention, you got to first just start making money doing it live every week. Once you start making money doing it live, start to hone in on those metrics. If you guys come to the workshop, I'm going to give you a spreadsheet. I'm going to draw out the metrics so you really get this, and start making money with it. Once you start making money with it and you're happy with the results, you get up to 20% closing. Before you automate, see if you can shorten the webinar. Do it every week, but see if you can shorten it. Say, okay, I'm going to cut out 20 minutes. What do I need to cut out? Now, it's going to be painful because you're going to be in a spot where you can see it, but it's just 1 week. Try and cut out 20 minutes of content and see what happens. Don't listen to the gurus that say the only way this is going to work is if you do the perfect webinar, the perfect way. The greatest experts, the top earners online in any coaching business are there because they weren't afraid to test the models. So what I'm going to say is the shorter your presentation is, the more you're going to make. So try and do, like, if you end up starting with a webinar that's 90 minutes and it's working perfectly and all your metrics are working, before you automate, see if you can get it down to 55 minutes. So what did I talk to you about today? 3 things they're not telling you is the importance of a fast outcome. Speed, remember, money loves speed. The second thing is the actual price you pay. Don't base it on what you think the information is worth. Base it on what the market demands. And the third thing and the final thing is the length of time it takes you to get to the sale. Keep this stuff in mind, and you will build a freaking automated system around a webinar that will bring in tens of thousands a month just from that product, but then you can upsell them into everything else you want to do. Listen, this is how every major coaching business in the world is built. So get in the game. If you're still confused about this and you want to learn how to build an online course, specifically one that's designed to be automated, click on the link in the notes and I'll see you on the workshop.